tuning in and pre-gaming with us. Now that my partner, I, and my guest, I'm so honored to have this guest. I'll tell you about her in a minute. I'll introduce you, but you're seeing her, which is awesome. Because seeing is believing sometimes, right? Right. I mean, so I'm feeling it. I'm feeling nice. I'm excited today. I'm really excited, if you can't tell. But thank you guys for being part of the show and contributing to sharing our space, and we invite you and welcome you to be part of tonight's show. It means a lot to me, and the show is very important to me tonight, and I'm very excited because the person who I'm actually interviewing became like part of like the gel or the connection that let me really see how the show is working in my life for me and how it's working in life in general through spiritual and vision and trusting myself and healing. And this person helped me acknowledge that the other day, and I happen to have her on the show today. You're gonna find out more about our connection, but yeah, I'm very honored to have our guest. I'm gonna let her introduce herself. But she is an energy reader. She's a sister. She's a friend of mine. She's a lovely, amazing, great human being, which I think is important in anything people do. Just being amazing and awesome and trustworthy with space. We created this night called Sacred Space. So my co-host and my friend that's here tonight, I'd like for her to introduce herself.
Well, hi everybody. I am Maria Gattuso. I am a light worker and an energy worker, and I am Orlando's friend and sister. And we are here creating this sacred space for you and for ourselves as well, because whenever we've gotten together, wherever we were, when we were together, there was a sacred space kind of thing happening. And it happened kind of before we even knew what was going on. And so even in this moment, it seems to be pretty organic that didn't exist when I first met Orlando. So a lot has changed and a lot has blossomed for both of us, and we have a lot in common. And we keep running into each other, and it just this opportunity presented itself. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm very, very excited to be here.
So yes, thank you. And again, I'm so glad. I'm honored. I'm happy. I'm nervous and excited. Those feelings that you get, you know, Billy, like when you're excited to go like play your first, you boxed, right? You were a boxer, right? So we're always gonna go back and share stories of our family and our team on Make It Happen Network. You know what I mean? So something that Billy did and it was known for and is known for is his boxing and his skills. So I don't know what I was talking about first to mention his boxing skills, but what were we talking about?
I don't know. I'm not exactly sure, but
Imagine, what did I say for boxing?
We're talking about nervous.
Nervous. Thank
nervous.
you. So you're catching this live, so you guys have more laughs in there. That's another snippet for the show. That's what's dope about the show. It's organic. There's no teleprompter. This is like the green room, because you smoke green, you're natural, it's organic. And,
we're having tequila.
And we have the green man in the room.
We're not scripted. This is whatever is. This is it. This is raw, and this is it.
Yeah. So like I said, imagine you going into your first fight for the first time, and
I remember that, baby.
Were you nervous?
Oh yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah. So this your first fight?
And then I don't consider this a fight. I consider it a battle. Because we fight battles every day.
I'm prepared.
Not with you. We fight this battle together.
Oh, glad. I just didn't know where you were going.
No,
so
yeah, exactly. I'm with you.
I gotta go wherever we're going.
Here. We're against anybody out there who's not in favor.
Wait, we're not against. No,
I know. See.
I'm gonna
Yo, you saw that was good, right? Not against on time. I was because the energy.
It's all about love, right? We're choosing love.
Yes, but the energy. If you guys are watching live, so we just said at the same time, this is what's dope about the show. So if you guys are watching, you're watching spiritual energy live, because you guys are with us, your energy is like with us, so you got to experience that. We just went back into and overlapped. I heard her say no, Orlando, before she even said it in her head. We're not battling others. Don't judge. It's not about them. I heard you say all those things, and then we both said it out loud at the same time. So there was like a millisecond before we can say that live on the show. Yes or no?
Yes.
So that happened live. Rewind that shit later if you don't believe me.
It's called shifting the energy.
What?
You want to shift it from a negative to a positive, from fear to love.
Okay.
Because right away, the first thing that people do is they feel a little triggered, and then they go into the negative, and now you gotta
Guard
battle,
yourself.
You gotta
Defend yourself.
fuck up.
Fight back.
And no, you don't. I mean, it depends, right? It depends. A lot going on in the streets right now, so you do have to be
Prepared or alert, aware.
But you got to put your energy before you even get out on the street. Like, what are you projecting out there? I project peace, so pretty much that's what's going to show up. And then if it doesn't show up, I'm going to put even more there.
So, understood. So she's here to share and teach and educate and inform and love with us, right?
With my combat pants on.
She's badass. But the thing was, what I want to go back to is most human beings, 80-20%, you're in a space that we're calling sacred with yourself, that you know and learn this and still applying it, where others that are watching, and like myself and people don't even have the wisdom to catch what we just caught and fix it in a matter of that time, and they may carry that for years, a lifetime, right? So that's how simple it is to be aware, and how vulnerable or transparent this could be. It's so easy to say, yo, there's a lot of people out there I can't stand. I don't like what you're doing. I don't like what you're about. I don't like what you're doing to me. I don't like what you're doing to yourself or in my circle. That's normal feelings. Like, we're human beings, and we're allowed to feel. And I'm learning that more and more the more I interact in open space with good people I can trust. And that's the thing about trust, you can't trust everyone, and then that's where barriers and walls go up. So that's where everyone has their own triggers that guard themselves. So I think that by me sharing that and showing you that, you're not alone. And that's why I brought and asked and invited Maria here, so that she can teach us about this and how to deal with this, because you're not alone, I ain't alone. We ain't alone, so. And
it's for a lot of people, it's not second nature to be that vulnerable. Vulnerable is the word you use. There's a lot of strength and power in vulnerability. To always be ready, to always be on guard or put walls up isn't, boundaries is one thing. Having respect, understanding what is coming, knowing what that is, you can put a boundary up. You don't have to war against it. You don't have to move. You just have to kind of see it, recognize what it is, and have a sacred space where you're allowing that other person. Because listen, I don't know about anybody else, but I had to learn this. This isn't something that was a second nature to me. I'm from the street. I was a fighter. I choose love now. It's like, what are you going to choose? We're in a battle right now for our whole, the soul of this planet, right? So we have to start choosing something that is a little bit more, it just will unite us. There's a lot out there that we don't need anymore.
No, and I agree.
Yeah.
So, in what you learned and practiced that got you to this space that we can have you here as a guest to talk about these things, being a Reiki master or a light worker, you could choose which one first, but sometimes people don't know what that means, what's that about, how can I benefit from this practice?
Right.
Because I believe in prayer.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong, but if you need a massage, because if you have a bruise in your body, God didn't say don't get a massage.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So if there's ways to learn to use the earth, the energies of the world that He created, the creator of all things,
yes,
and something that, whether it's light, stones, crystals, plants that He made, whatever you know, what's one of the things you feel you want to start off with to share that has helped you heal, and what you practice and what you actually provide for others, that if they need it, they can see you for?
So Reiki is basically, it means universal life force energy, right? Universal life force energy. So whatever is alive, even things that seem inanimate and are inanimate in the quantum realm, this has atoms that are moving. So everything is energy, and we are life force energy. So we have the ability to use our energy to help one another, to heal ourselves. Our bodies are in constant healing mode. So when we use our energy and we focus it, and we balance ourselves out and heal ourselves from emotional traumas and things in the past and all this stuff, like really coming to terms with some of the things that we've been through, and really kind of taking a deep breath, as Orlando just did, and kind of letting some things go, forgiveness, putting putting light where there's been some dark shadows, you will start to lighten up, and then you start lightening up, and you'll start to be able to use your energy for something like healing. So when you have a child that hurts themselves, the first thing that we do is put our hands on them. It's the first thing, it's the natural thing to do, is to put your hand on them. But no, it's deeper than that. It's innate, because your instincts are to use your life force energy to comfort. And when you do that, and you do it with purpose over time, meditation, prayer, consciousness, you actually raise your vibration pretty high. And before you know it, there's some energy that you can exchange with one another. We're exchanging energy all the time, right? We have an argument with somebody, you walk away, you feel that for a week. It's the same thing with the positive energy. You can actually have an experience with somebody like myself, and for 2 or 3 days you will feel that high. And then that energy might subside, because you'll come back to balance, but then you can raise it back up again. So Reiki is universal life force energy, and it's just kind of fanning the flame of it, making the flame bigger, and then using your energy for what you want to do with it. And I wanted to heal myself first. I had wounds I needed to heal, and I followed Jesus's ministry. He put hands on people. He bravely walked and administered healing. And I followed Dr. Usui's formula, which is, it just kind of found me. My instinct was to try to get help, and so that showed up. And I went after it with everything that I had, and I have not stopped. And I have faith. So that's going to move some energy. And that's what I've been doing. And I would love for you guys to try it, participate.
Okay. Is this something we can demonstrate live on the show?
Well, I mean, it's a sacred space. We're drinking a little tequila. It's a little more relaxed. I would probably say, it's probably not the best time to do it. I mean, I can put my hands on you and we can see, but I think it's a little bit more out of respect, more like I would rather do it in an environment where I was actually going to try to do it before we started, but we got a little bit of a late start. I wanted to do it before we started so that we could have talked about it afterwards, but you know my energy, and that's really, you're just going to get a lot more of that.
Yeah. All right, so there's 2 things there. Number 1, I wanted to reflect, because I didn't know, I wanted us all to learn and know if having a good time and experiencing sacred space, an administrator and a practitioner and a believer and a teacher of it chose to not practice it, which I respect, and I like that you did that. That's genuine and honest. And then she finished. Oh, well, I like, what's the other thing you said? Ministry of Jesus. No, I'll skip it. I'll go back to what I was really thinking. At the end of the day, I was storing something, and you said you're gonna get a lot more from me here, because I wanted you to catch more hands-on.
Okay.
I like the hands-on, right? No, but it's great. Yeah. So I was gonna say, can Reiki be telepathic at all? Can you ever? All right. So
distance healing.
So watch this. So you can rewind the video. She said, as Orlando took a deep breath.
Right.
You addressed that, right? You really weren't looking at me, but I felt you two looks at me prior, assessed me, and you felt that I was tight. And you were looking at my posture, but to the common eye, you wouldn't think that, but I heard you say, relax. I'm live on the show, so I'm looking at the light. It's funny. This is all about light. And did you say or notice or acknowledge or sense that, and then you said, as he takes a breath?
I love that you took the breath, and I think we both, in that moment, I think it was for both of us to relax. Like it's like just yeah.
So that
I might have said that a few times.
So that's the experience. And I'm even going to talk softer, because I even recognize that even talking more gentle can make as strong as an impact. I don't know if you can hear me as much, because I'm used to yelling. But we'll edit the volume.
But I think that's a really good point. You have so much energy, and you have so much creativity and so much passion. That is from another realm that's coming through you, and nothing could keep you from doing what you're doing. And I'm such a big fan of what you're doing, and I wholly support your creativity, because it's so beautiful to see. People are very numb. People aren't really projecting what they really want. They're just kind of going through the motions. But you are seriously fire, and it's a beautiful thing. And so now you channeling that energy is it's very much like Reiki Universal Life Force energy. When you channel this, you become the most powerful thing in your world, and that's what it's about, because you are the most powerful thing in your world. You're the center point. Everything else revolves around you. Everything else revolves around you. Everything revolves around you. Everything revolves around me. We're the center point. And when you're awake and you're creative, you came here to create. How many are not creating? How many don't feel in the creative vibe? They're stuck, or they're feeling kind of something from the past, and they can't break out and create. This is like, you can spend a long time here trying to figure out exactly what is coming forth from this person, and it's going to be an interesting journey because it's a lot. So that's what this is about. This is about energy, and I love that you sometimes have so much of it. And I used to be very much like that, like so much, like it gets ahead of me. And over time, practice meditation, slowing down just a little bit, being a little bit more conscious of your own behavior. You can really start to channel that energy, and leaps and bounds, you start to hit your mark. One after the other target. You're gonna start at 8 o'clock, right? Sure, we can start at 8 o'clock. 45 minutes later, what world does that happen? Well, guess what? It happens in 5D. It happens in this world, this new earth that we're creating, because you know what? This is all organic. Every single bit of this, we're not competing with anybody out there. We're not trying to, this is a sacred space. This is exactly, so sorry if you had to wait. But he has a lot of energy. I was on time.
I was not.
Oh, that's another subject.
I don't throw my people.
He was on time too.
I don't throw nobody under the bus.
No, you were on time too.
See, being misunderstood and being misread sometimes. Like I got food, I bought it, came back, it's over there.
No,
I was gonna make a hookah.
All right, okay.
But I'm not gonna say Billy hit me up and let me know that he got into It sounded like
So remember we were just talking about energy and how much he had, and he was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna go slow for a minute." This is.
I realized.
It didn't take much.
Wow. There's a lot of energy going on inside here.
It's awesome.
Oh wow. So sacred space.
I like the winky hat.
The who?
The winky hat.
Yes, because it's all right. So we'll go to make it. We'll take a slide away from all this loud excitement. I went to a loud color. This is because I had a special guest. I wanted to bring out.
I love it.
The new color. I never wore this color yet.
Shirts.
So this is my Make It Happen, Mr. Make It Happen hot pink. Even though it's not October-y, festive, I don't care.
Who cares?
I'm doing me. I'm doing Make It Happen. And I felt with the smiley face, wink, smile, because you gotta keep one eye open and one eye closed, balanced, yin yang. I'm not that my energy was going somewhere. She pulled it quick. She's like, no, don't go there. I'm like, see? So sometimes you're just always trying to express yourself. And you guys, maybe you guys got it under control. But to me, I come across a lot of people that as they watch the show or they talk to me and they experience needing guidance and help, or experiencing loss and not knowing that they are lost while they have loss. And I'm gonna teach you about. We're gonna talk about loss. We're gonna address loss and share our space of loss and on our road to recovery with our two great fathers. We're gonna take a 3-minute break and have some sacred smoke in my sacred space. Yeah, I said it. Mr. Make It Happen with Alex Sosa Productions and
Maria Gattuso.
My special guest in our sacred space. See you in a little bit. Cheers.
Cheers.
Before I walk over there and pause it. Right? Because you're about to say that too, right? The polarity, the energy in the room. Like, I don't know if you guys got cut off, but the energy
is
is
some kind of cutoff,
crazy.
right?
I don't know what happened. You good,
The
Billy?
technical
Look.
difficulties.
Yo.
That never
sharing
happened
my
before.
energy.
Yo, I was about to say the Reiki's working. You saw
It's
the
working. Everything's back online.
Did you see the octopus with 2 extra
Did you
fingers?
see it? I saw
He
it.
was like, yo, I wish you
There
could
was lights
see.
coming out of his
Yo,
ears.
Alex Sosa Productions was like in a rave and in a spiritual haze. It was beautiful.
Rainbows, man.
It was beautiful. So, welcome back. We had to take a time out just because you have to rejuvenate. You have to take a deep breath. As Maria did.
I did. I always do.
No, what's funny? I'll say something real simple to start it off, this second segment. I'm gonna ask you guys a question that I would love for you to ask yourself and be true and honest to yourself. Because if you can't be honest and true to yourself,
What's the
Really?
point?
Like, really? Don't judge nobody if you can't even be true to yourself. Anyway, we'll get to that later. How many breaths a day do you remember actually taking? Like, do you remember taking it in through your nose, into your like skull cavity, behind your eye socket, into your temples, through your body, down into your, I don't know which body parts in there besides the lungs. But as deep, your solar plexus, wherever we're going, right? As deep as it can go. Because you don't have to be a master to be a student or to breathe, right? Because I want to learn.
Yeah.
So I'm sharing this with you guys because if you're the master of breath, and you should be the master of breath if you take 1 billion breaths a day, which we do, and you don't even know how many breaths, you don't even remember 1 breath a day, most people.
That's a really good point.
Right or wrong? I mean, I'm just saying. So if we can start something like that, that's bringing me to, because I'm moving fast, because we want to put a lot of content that's important so you guys can really recognize how long spirituality is lacking in your day. It's happening non-stop. So she mentioned on the break that we were in our sacred space with shoes on, right? So I was like, I swept in case people want to be barefoot. I like people to come barefoot, but I don't want to be intrusive to people's space either.
But you can say, please leave your shoes outside.
Yeah.
You can say that.
Yeah, but I've had friends, and some of y'all watching or maybe watching later, that they can't take the shoes off. They got holes in their socks because they just not being, cleanly, what do you call it? Hygienic.
Okay.
So I don't have holes in my socks. You got holes in your socks?
No.
Can we take our shoes off in our sacred space?
Sure, if we need to.
Are you allowed to? Because you mentioned it.
But it's a okay. So it's a moot point at this point because we have been walking around with our boots on and our shoes for the last 2.5 hours.
So we don't need it.
So it's in my house. When you come to my house, it's one of the first things I say. Shoes will be off. So if you want to set those terms
boundaries or standards,
then you go with that.
Okay.
But, let me start taking my. It's not necessary.
See, watch. Now this is good because again, I wouldn't want to start off having my guests for the first time coming into my home stating that, even though like you should have boundaries, right? This is good because boundaries, people like having respect for the other person and not respecting your own boundaries, right? Because I might have thought that might have been not okay with you or with another person. Hey, if you don't mind, take your shoes off. Because I've asked people sometimes, take your shoes off. Would you mind taking your shoes off?
Right.
You can't even get out of here. Or I'm like,
I think maybe because they don't understand why you're asking them though.
yeah.
When you know that it's about, for me, it's all about energy. It's not about dirt. It's about energy. So it's about where carrying. When you step all over the place, and then you bring that in the house. This is your sacred space. So that needs to be out there, along with all of your toxic thoughts and bad habits. That should be out there too. Just let this be a sacred space where you just kind of let that stuff go. And if somebody doesn't want to do it, then I mean, I had a client the other day. She's not a well person, and I wasn't gonna. And she's definitely leaving her shoes on. She needs them on. So there's exceptions to everything, but you set your own. You set whatever you want to do. But you can take your shoes off, Orlando. Knock yourself out.
Yeah. No, I just don't. I don't got no dirt on the bottom of these because these are clean. These are new. But I don't want sacred dirt on my floor. I like sacred dirt, but I don't want.
Technically, it is all sacred, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's how you.
I don't want to say it, but I'm just saying that you walk on, some dirt on the outside and you kick it, and I come out and be barefoot later. Like I'd rather you just take your shoes off at the door. That's what I'm saying. Just so you're saying
future sacred space will be barefoot.
Yes, and I'm not going to be scared or not willing to approach saying take your shoes off if you don't mind.
Yeah, I think it's okay to ask.
All right, cool. So that was a good learning experience. Respecting space. But she had mentioned about taking shoes off, and that was a lesson that it's your sacred space. And why? Because what makes not having shoes in your sacred space or not having shoes on in your home?
It's about energy. It's like if you're going to New York City and you're walking the streets and then you're coming home and you have little babies in the house and you're in the house, it's just a different. It's like you're cross-pollinating and cross-contaminating worlds.
Okay.
Let your world, like we use sage to detox the air. We use sage to detox ourselves and to clear ourselves. You say you use it all the time, but you're bringing all that in. What is that? And it's not dirt. It's not about that. It's just about energy. So
All right, good enough. Because you also put a sage by your feet as well,
did,
and you mentioned that.
everywhere.
So I thought that was really interesting because people may not realize or recognize the element of the feet in sacred space. So that was really cool. So it's something that simple doesn't matter. So and it's okay for it to matter to you. So we also have some other things we're going to talk about today, which is our having guidance and learning healing and having an impactful father in our lives. Maybe in dealing with loss and that process. I have a father that was very impactful in my life, and he was very important to me, and a lot of people who follow me and share space with me know my dad, and he's behind this whole process of who I am and what I do, and part of my now healing process, which I'm glad you're here with, so I can share that with you and learn with you and from you. But I would like others, the audience, and I would like you to share a little bit about who, if you don't mind. And I asked her first, I asked permission, because when you have guests and you want to share space with people, sometimes you, like I said, like shoes at the door, maybe sometimes shoes at the door would be that. So I asked permission.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, and allowing us to talk about that. So I didn't want to intrude. So I'll let you know. I'll let her share who her father is and the impact her story. We'll get into that more. But it's important for you guys to pay attention and listen in.
So I don't know if anybody was watching television today, but Goodfellas happened to be on, and I was flipping the channels. Actually, I wasn't flipping the channels. I turned the television on, and Goodfellas was on today. And my dad played Billy Batts in Goodfellas, who's Frank Vincent Gattuso. He's a pretty famous actor, and he passed away 4 years ago. And talk about impactful. I mean, coming here and doing something like this was his whole realm, and so it's a little bittersweet sometimes for me to be so involved and blessed in a situation like this that I can't share with him. And then to ask his advice, like, we've got beautiful Billy over here in his production asking me what about the lights and stuff like that, and that's the guy that I would ask, and he would give me the advice for anything that I needed. But so it's a great loss, of course, and we share that. We've had that. It's just a unique thing that we have in commman, that we have connected on. And then also, I don't know if you guys can see, but his dad's drums are behind me, and they spoke to me as soon as I came in the house. Oh my gosh, I could feel it.
And the song changed.
Can you feel that?
Yeah, it's hot.
Well, anyway, I could feel like those drums were like calling my name, and my dad was he was a drummer. He was a great drummer, and he played for years in music and stuff. So yeah, it's quite an interesting thing that we share, to have that kind of dad's on the other side thing.
Yeah, this occurrence, this meeting. Man, I got a lot to tell. I don't even know how to tell you guys everything at the same time. There's so much I want to share. Mr. Harold got crazy over here. How we met was awesome and crazy, but before I even get into that, because there's times I think that you may think that you are seeing a sign or getting a message and you need confirmation. Sometimes it's a number. Sometimes it's a song. Sometimes it's a dream. Sometimes it's just an inner voice. But like there's no one there to confirm that, and you don't understand it, and sometimes it passes you by. And I feel like that's still one thing in life that I deal with, and I'm recognizing that the spirit, your inner spirit, the spirit that you are in the world on the outside is all happening. And there's things happening we may not recognize. So meeting you when my father died going to be 4 years ago, and we bumped into each other at my job while I was trying to work daily, knowing the most important person in my life died. The only person I trust, the only person I believed the words that came out of his mouth, that I know had no agendas, no lies, selfless, wanted nothing but good for you. Just someone that you can rely on and trust. When you only got one person like that in the world, like, that's so hard. So I'm working, trying to be like, yo, you gotta work. You gotta pick your head up. You gotta get through it. Things are going on. Follow through with everything. and then you're trying to work. So my father used to have a phrase said, "Don't lose yourself in the process." So in my head, I'm like, well, I know you died, Pop, so I can't get depressed. So I have to go to work and I have to do these things and act like I'm not hurt or missing you, right? You're just supposed to do what you're supposed to do and pretend like you're not going through these things for everybody else's sake too. But your sake don't matter sometimes. It doesn't seem like it does. And because you want to do everything better for everybody else and you don't want to fail people, right? So that's how I am at every day at my job. I mean, I gotta work, I gotta make income, I gotta figure this out. And there's nothing to figure out but just every day punching the clock and do what you have to do. And I think I was carrying that. And everything you guys are seeing how I felt, I guess, right now. And that's just talking about it. Let me realize.
It's real. Grief is real. And this man is grieving and celebrating and remembering and honoring. And you are very much your father's son. Because I am here. Let it go. I am here because you have that same spirit of generosity and authenticity that you would say, "Come, Maria, let's make a sacred space together. We don't do things the way the world is doing things. We do things differently. Let's unite."
I breathe.
And breathe, damn it.
You told me breathe.
Drink that tequila.
Yeah, I gotta get oxygen. You ain't getting no H2O out of me today.
No, he's emotional, and
Throw that
it's
shit
rightfully
up.
so. And
Pull that shit up.
And rightfully so. And I always say, let it out, let it go, breathe it in, breathe it out, acknowledge your feelings. You know, one of the things that I bring out in him is the deep emotion that we start. And I don't just do it for him. I do it for myself and anyone else. But bring out that you're keeping in, and let's put more light in it and keep creating. It's a beautiful spirit that you have, and I can see your father in you.
Don't be doing that. No,
it's the truth.
It's okay now.
And you can see him. I mean, you can switch the gears on me anytime you want if you can find it in your solar plexus and throat to speak and to put it out on me too, because I have it too. I mean, I channel it in a different way. My dad, if I start talking about it, it'll happen.
Well, like, as a gentleman, like I said, I would throw myself. I didn't throw Billy under the bus, and I'll start off with me, because if you can't be honest with yourself, why am I going to try to heal or help heal or work or be a student and work with somebody if I can't open space? If I want to receive something, I got to give it first. Because everybody out there, everybody who's watching, it's the way most people think, and it's okay to acknowledge that. Most people think about themselves first, and that's respectably understood. But honestly, my pop dying made me understand that think about others first, even if you gotta sacrifice yourself. And even if you don't believe that's what you're doing.
Well,
that's the worst part. That's the worst part. That when people don't believe or think that you're being truthful about being great or helping. That's the worst.
And don't waste a breath on that thought. Send light over there, and it's none of our business it's none of your business what other people think.
I'm dropping salt.
He's trying to hide the salt in his eyes.
I'm putting salt. I'm working. Look, this is real. This is real. How you
real work.
In props
do the work. This is
I put salt in my tequila shot, bro. Who does that shit? Like, who's real like that? I can drink my tears. How you like that? Give me some. Because she's been there. I'm gonna drink my tears because you gotta reprocess things and regenerate and relearn.
Man. This is real life.
So that's cool. That's done.
It's real life.
And you got me.
It's not done. Well, that's why we're doing this. That's why we're holding this sacred space. This is a real man. He's vulnerable. He's strong, and he's being authentic. And I'm the same as a woman. So we come together and we talk about things, and I think it's gonna be
good.
A great thing.
Yes.
It's already a great thing.
So that's how we met. All that everything that you guys just got that I shared, and I'm glad to have shared it, because sometimes you regret things and you think you didn't do the right thing, but I know it was genuine. So thank you for allowing me to share that with you. Whew. So imagine feeling like that at work, and you meet someone, and they I don't know why, I put it like this. It was like watching an X-Men movie, and you met female Professor X. but she's like strong and powerful. So the masculinity is there, and I see it a lot. And the femininity is there, but the sensitivity and you're healing people and all that shit. But you got to work with me at the time, and you and like I don't even know. I did a sidebar there. Wow, I was reading. I stopped doing that. But check it out. I was working. She was a customer, and she just walked up to me. She felt whatever I was going through. Told me about myself in seconds, and told me to relax, calm down. I'm beautiful on the inside. Whatever. I don't know what she said. She said some awesome crazy shit, right? That I'm gonna just be genuine. Like it was just like wow, she just put it on me like I'm like wow. She saw through whatever I was going through and recognized it all and let me know it's gonna be okay. And I believed her because I don't believe anyone but my dad. So for her to talk to me like that, at that moment I was like, she's genuine. She don't know me. Why would she want something good for me?
That's gonna make me cry now.
And I held that, and I ain't seen you since that day till 3 years later. Really, maybe I saw you here and there, but and I was like, wow, someone understands me. Someone recognized.
That's why we do this. That's why we're doing this.
God, I gotta go to the bathroom break. Oh.
It's okay. In a very short amount of time.
Did what? I don't even know what I did.
You shifted.
Oh, okay.
I'm rolling.
Welcome back.
Welcome.
We have been around the world and back. We have been around the world and back.
I'll talk.
Yes, you talk.
I'll let you know how Billy answers and talks on the phone.
Hello.
Yeah, definitely. I can hear that.
Welcome back. 20 seconds. Nah, honestly, if you're live with us again, thank you for coming back. And for the YouTube, season 1 is in the making with the best show I've had ever, the best experience I've had ever. So this is season 1, which you're gonna be seeing while season 2 is live. So I'm releasing some little drops right now about the Make It Happen process in the show. And Alex Sosa Productions and myself are putting something great together with some great people. And today's experience and guest has brought the Make It Happen experience to a true experience of me experiencing the Make It Happen experience.
He says experience.
Did
one
you
more
get
time.
that? Because
It's like I'm having an experience.
yeah. Wow, really? I've heard that before. No, so it's having fun, organic, sacred space. But seriously, the Make It Happen podcast show started with me wanting to help out with mental health awareness and artists doing music and entertainment. And little did I know that it was going to shift to helping others the way that today's show allowed me to experience today. So I thank you for that. And as we just shared my father's experience in my life, we addressed and talked about who her father was, but I have some questions maybe that if you could share. What's it like being the daughter of a famous actor? Watching that and what, because there's people out there who maybe not understand what life that is as being a female or a daughter, a famous, awesome dad. How was that like as a child, if we can ask? And wherever you want to go forward with that, wherever you want to go.
It was different. My peers didn't have the experience that I was having, so I didn't have a lot of people that could relate to what I was experiencing, and I didn't know how to interpret what I was experiencing as just what it was. Joe Pesci was in my house a lot when we were kids, playing guitar, doing Porky Pig impressions. We were going to the studio all the time. We were, my dad had drums all over the house. It was that kind of a life, but that's what we were used to. So, it was normal.
How old were you at that time?
That was my whole life.
More or less.
But that was like maybe 8.
So 8 through up to about So up to teenage years, you had Joe Pesci and other actors in your life, and your father's making movies.
Well, it got busier, and then Martin Scorsese, and then Robert De Niro, and, you know, all the guys, like all the, you know, we would go to a lot of the parties, or we'd be invited to premieres and things like that. So we would intermix and intermingle with a lot of celebrities. So that was very cool.
So how was that? I mean, I'm sure. I mean, you're beautiful. Your father's daughter. He's introducing you to people, or is it like you're not supposed to interact? Like, what's like that experience of like, as just like enjoying it or not enjoying? What is that like?
There was all of that. So we were observers. You know, he was a comet. You know, shining bright. And so he got a lot of attention. So we were kind of like in the shadows observing, and then experiencing some of the shine that we get from his experience, you know. But no, it was his show. You know, it was definitely his show.
So, what's one of your most impactful or like not to say starstruck, but what was like the biggest thing that you've seen in like entertainment or like the TV world that most people would never experience? What was like the coolest thing that you experienced or saw?
You know, it's the weirdest thing that's popping into my head. We were at Columbus Circle. It was years ago, and it was our birthdays are around the summertime. My sister and so we went to this restaurant, and there were so many celebrities there, but Eyewitness News was there.
Okay.
The cast from it was like 11:45, and they all left the studio and came to the restaurant, and they all sang happy birthday to us, like the whole restaurant. It was weird, because my father was who he was, and so there were all these celebrities, but it was just one of the weirdest things, was that the Eyewitness News cast sang happy birthday to us.
Wow. All right.
I don't know. It's very random that I picked that.
I don't think any of us are gonna have the Eyewitness News sing happy birthday to us. So that's weird.
It was very weird.
What's the best, let's say, one of your father's lines or advice? What's something? All right, did he have a line? Did he have a famous line outside of TV that you could mark it for?
For me, that he would say, like he would say, keep the faith.
All right,
He'd say, keep punching.
Keep punching. See, there you go. Keep punching. Keep the faith. I mean, keep the faith. Yeah, but keep punching sounds.
Keep punching for sure. Keep the faith, and God is good.
God is good.
Yeah.
Keep punching.
And then if I hear my name really loud, I know I'm in trouble.
Okay, that was him just yelling your name.
Just if you said my name, my whole name, yeah.
You look a lot like your dad. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I see a lot of your dad in you. Like, if you had long, beautiful, long blonde hair.
If he was a woman.
No, but he had a full head of hair too.
Yes.
I think that you definitely get your hair from your pops.
Yeah, it's DNA. My mom too.
Yeah,
it's in the DNA.
I gotta see a picture
Yeah,
of your
yeah,
mom.
for
But
sure.
from what I see
You
from
have nice hair too, though.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm telling you this hat.
Well, he had it off for a minute.
Yeah, for a quick minute. I was getting cleansed. The sacred space was going in. But there's a lot of pressure you gotta release, right? And feel. No. But we experienced a really good experience. I thank you for sharing a lot about your dad. Let's see, recovery. Alright, so I'll ask, what's one of the biggest lessons you've learned from your dad, not post afterlife? What's one of his life lessons that you learned? Like he was saying, here's a lesson, or something you watched from him that you took away from him that you learned?
He was a good people reader. He read people very well, and he had great timing, and he was very charismatic, and he just knew how to communicate, and so he was a great communicator. So I kind of, I take after him in that way. I admired that, and I like to emulate that.
Yeah,
and connect,
I can see that. And that's awesome. I see that. Obviously, she's an energy reader, and she's reading the space. What's really awesome is I could see the strengths and feel the strengths in you. Like your pops was seen in like mafia movies, like a boss, like someone to be scared of, rolling with the bad boys, right?
Yes.
The Italianos, right?
Yes.
I could see you as a female mob boss too. Like I wouldn't mess with Maria. You know what I mean? Billy, would you mess with Maria? No, I wouldn't mess with Maria. You know what I mean? But I see a lot of energy. And what's cool is, like I said, this is not like you shared with me. Like this is not like you're not about the spotlight, and I love that about you. You're just genuine. You're yourself. You're just sharing willingly. That's what's awesome. And your dad was in the spotlight, so it's such an awesome yin yang,
Yes.
black and white. It's such
Yes.
a cool balance, and it's awesome to probably have that. You know, I'm sure there's some catch-22s. What were some of the things that's not so cool, if we're allowed to ask?
Yeah.
Because some cool things,
Yeah.
but like it's not all what is, you know.
No, it was tough sharing him. I missed out on a lot because he was so in the public eye, always, you know, performing and reaching for that spotlight, and I was just this little girl trying to have a relationship with my father. So it was tough. I felt like I competed a lot for his attention, and I struggled with that a lot.
I can see it. Yeah. You have any brothers and sisters?
I have an older sister and I have a stepbrother, younger stepbrother.
Okay. Keep in touch. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, I mean, you know, we have our
Wait.
you know,
paths.
it's like with everybody. Everybody has, you know, you have moments, I think, where you are closer and then maybe separate.
Yeah.
But it's all a work in progress, and I have nothing but love for my family, but it's a unique experience, and you know, you don't know how people are going to be in this experience, and you just have to accept and surrender. So it's a process.
You know, as you're speaking, I felt her assess me because I'm always working. I'm always thinking. It's hard for me to just stay. Again, multitasking on a show and being a host and being present, but being present and being present. I'm trying to be present. It's not Christmas, but I got a lot of presents I'm trying to work with right now, right? I got to be present with Billy, knowing he's doing his camera work. So it's a lot of things as being a focal point to share the light. But I didn't even mean to go off on that. What I wanted to say was that you sharing your dad and people may not realize that probably as a daughter and that he was famous and that you couldn't spend time with him the way you wanted to. Did you feel like he chose the industry or acting over family, or was he really with the family and you guys all understood that he has to do his thing and it is what it is?
That's a good question. Well, we started out as one family, my mom, my sister, and I, and that family didn't work out because of his pursuing the career. And so it took its toll on my mom, and their marriage didn't work out. So that happened, and then my dad actually remarried. And so I think in his later years, and then with the second marriage, he really tried to, I think, make up for what happened. So I have mixed feelings about it. It's loaded, but it was beautiful. I mean, it's all beautiful to me in the end, but you know, it was tough coming from a broken family. It was tough.
Of course.
It was tough. That part of it was extremely hard for me. I was very traumatized by that. I didn't understand. I was too young. To understand what was going on.
How old were you when that happened, the separation?
I was like 11, 12.
Were you 6th grade?
What was I? No, I think I was a little older than that, right? So like 8th grade, you're 14, right?
No,
I think so.
high school you're 13, 14.
So I was 12.
So like 8.
I was young.
Alright, like junior
I
high.
was young. Yeah.
My pops and my mom and my pops got separated in that stage of puberty and junior high.
Exactly.
And I got you got your space, and you're like, oh, you can't tell me what to do later, right? Like,
yeah.
You haven't been here, so I can't listen.
Yeah, you got angry. Did you get angry?
You know what? You know what's really weird? Beverly Hills Cop 2. My father liked Beverly Hills Cop and Die Hard movies, and what happened? I'll be honest. He wanted to hang out with us when my parents got separated, and I just didn't want to go. My brother and sister were younger. I was older, and I saw and knew things. So I was I don't want to say rebellious. I don't have to check in.
Yeah,
I don't have to report
I was
in.
very rebellious.
You know?
No, if you don't want to say you were rebellious, then I was enough for the both of us. Let me
Yeah.
tell you, I got kicked out of high school.
Wow. Man, I know there's a bad girl in there. Like I said, I see a female
I
mafia
was.
boss. No, I see it, but I guess that's part of
Tough beauty.
it. Oh, definitely. Badass beauty, right?
Thank you.
Yes.
But I like to think I'm a lot, you know, I've calmed down a lot. I've chosen. I suffered. I was traumatized. I was angry. I was rebellious. I was wild. I was all that.
So what was the turning point? Like when do you feel like you had your shift? She shared with me shifting, and I'm learning what shifting is and making a move. So the shift is, where did your shift really happen? Because I'm sure we continue. I'm sure we continue to shift.
Yeah.
So what was your big shift? And then you were trying to explain to me like, wow, this is the shift. When was the true shift, or you chose?
It's not, I don't know if it was one moment. It was so many cumulative moments. It wasn't just one moment. I don't think I can pinpoint one.
Good.
Yeah,
Because I felt the same way. Even though there's some big hard ones that we shift through, like losing our father. So to me, losing Pop was the biggest shift in my life, because I never lost anyone.
That was.
And I lost my grandfather.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And my grandmama Rosa was a part. Mama Rosa died. Mama Rosa passed. Mama Rosa passed on New Year's Day. My mom's mother died on New Year's Day on her wedding anniversary.
Wow.
She held on to the wedding anniversary. She came in on wedding, and then Pop passed away on 2/11. So my grandma died on New Year's Day, and Pop died like a month and 11 days later. My mom went to go bury my pops in Puerto Rico, and Pop just, I'll tell you how dope Pop was. You know what I want to see how Pop was? Pop would be on the couch, hands on his, he had a liter, 2-3 liters of water in his belly, had to get pulled out every 2 days or something like that. And his feet were swollen, and I decided to massage his feet. And he just sat there, locked in, waiting for Mom to come home. Waiting for Mom to come home. And not intrusive on Mama Rosa passing. He didn't let Mom, he didn't even make it like, act like it was matter. He knew he was dying. He didn't let it even show. He didn't want to let it inconvenience nobody on his passing, while we all doing our life. And he just home with Coco, with freaking Coco over there. That's why Coco's so good. And he just like, he probably tell her, well, you ain't talking back, you ain't giving me no attitude. Let's go for a walk. With the whole neighborhood knew Pop, and everybody lined up outside of the funeral home, like lined up. The liquor store people, he didn't drink, but he talked to people at the liquor store. He was getting his lottery and how to be good. Went outside when the what do you call it? The garbage men came. He went outside to help the garbage men put the garbage in and tip them, but never talked about it. So doing dope stuff like that, you don't recognize a saint or a hero. Like I'm sure there's great things that your father did and my father did that groomed us and paved the way for us to do whatever's next in the next chapter of Sacred Space. Because this is a lot tonight. We could continue, and Billy's arm, I know, is getting weaker and weaker.
I don't think so.
His left jab is good, but his right, he didn't throw enough rights. He threw a lot of lefts. He threw a lot of jabs. So now I'm not gonna jab at my boy Billy. I got a shout out to Alex Sosa Productions coming out from Pennsylvania. If you guys need wedding work, studio work, editing, production work, please hit up Alex Sosa Productions. He's part of the Make It Happen Network. We're a team, we're brothers. Anyone need energy, healing, Reiki, want to experience something I experienced today, want help? We have a professional, someone who's genuine and wants to help you. Is not looking for anything for herself. She wants to give back, and you negotiate that with her billing process and her fees. But at the end of the day, she's a professional, offering her skills and her services to help heal and to help you. So I share that with you. Let her know, make it happen, and you might get a discount. I don't know. But I tried my first sponsorship through and we're trying new things here. We're having a good time. But I just want to let you know you can get help. Someone's here to help you.
Amen.
And it's been a pleasure having you here with me today. And I look forward to sharing and creating more sacred space within us, for others, for the show, and for me and you together.
Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure. I really appreciate you. And thank you guys for listening and hanging out with us. If you have any questions or something that you want to hear about, hit him up, and maybe when we come back together, we can answer some of your questions if you have any.
Okay. How can anyone reach you if they want to? If someone, as we post this up, Billy's doing the editing and it's going to go up. How can people reach you and hire you? Not hire you. Get your services.
Yeah, you can go to my website. You can go to my Instagram page, and you can hit me up. You can DM me. You can email me.
So what's your
email is dynamicview@outlook.com. Dynamicview@outlook.com.
And your Instagram is
Energy Reader Re.
Okay, so that's gonna be on my tags and on my stories and Instagram. But let's get her some follows, guys. Follow her back. Just see what she's doing. Experience just some posts that are encouraging, and be part of just a movement of sharing love, light, and peace with others.
Sounds good to me.
Wow.
Thank you.
Unscripted. Do what do I have to do?
The book.
The book and the coin. So I like this. Billy's on point. So what I have here, I forgot I have to give her this.
Oh.
Part of Make It Happen, the stone. Ooh, the stone. Oh man.
That was gonna be the next, yeah.
Yeah, Romancing the Stone. What movie was that? What was the Michael Douglas and that chick? No one knew who she was. Really, I don't think. From the Stone. So I have a gift for you. I have 2 gifts.
No.
All right. So part of Make It Happen tradition is if you and I experienced a great experience, and Billy as well, because Three's company, so we're gonna include Billy. It matters that you were here and that if you had a good time. I don't want to be the only one having a good time and a good experience here. Did you have a good time and a good
I
experience?
had a really great time. Thank you. I had a great time. I had a great time with both of you. You guys are amazing.
Thank you.
From the beginning to the middle. We're not done yet, but yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So,
Thank you.
the token of appreciation and a token, a symbol of positivity, progress, growth. It's a coin. It's plastic, but it's gold. But it's symbolic that, like, as a good luck symbol that wherever you go, may you be prosperous. May making it happen for you. May you always make it happen. That's what I gotta say, right? I gotta learn what I want to say. May you always be able to make it happen.
Does this say 69?
If you wanted to say it. I don't know. If you wanted to say it, it says it. Whatever you want it to be, it says.
I don't know.
I don't know. I've never been asked that question on the show before. Thank God Billy
I'm
never.
just looking at.
Thank God Billy never.
Listen, we talked about numerology, right?
I'm just glad Billy didn't ask me the question. So look at his face.
Thank you.
All right, that's to make it happen. What you
Don't
guys
make me
see?
blush.
The other part of the show, or the other gift I have for you is I have a whole jar of gems and stones and all stuff, and I didn't know which one to give you and get for you. And then this one stood out. I never looked it up. I never knew what it meant. But due to your rough, tough, but yet transparent gentleness, calming waters, this stone made sense. I don't know what the heck this is. But it's like I don't know, it has these things inside. And I thought about your hair, and I don't know what it was, but it's the only one that looked like that, and it had the shape of like a heart.
It's beautiful.
It's different.
It does. Definitely looks like a heart.
So that's the stone that stood
Thank
out,
you.
and I don't know what it means. Maybe you'll find out. Maybe it has some symbolic.
It seems like it's got a little yellow in it, maybe like a yellow citrine or maybe a smoky quartz.
That's funny. It has citrine over there, by the way. Everyone knows citrine. That one just looks different. It looks like spider webs of something in
beautiful.
there. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure you'll find out what.
Thank you.
What it is. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
But I have a book that I ask my guests to sign and leave a message, a little bit about their experience or a message they want to say or leave. I will never read the book until it's the end, the last page, and I will write the last page in the book.
Okay.
And I will never read what anyone writes because I want to see and feel the impact at the end. I don't want to change myself by the way. I just want to keep doing what I can do for others first, and I will read what they left behind later.
Okay.
So I never explained it really on the show, but that's what it's going to be. And Billy will get some pages and you'll see it later on, but not yet.
I look forward to it.
2 coming
Yeah.
2022. It takes 2 to tango. The dynamic duo. What? Any more twos? Pairs? Anything else? No?
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Quick riddle. Name a group, a rock group that never sang. Mount Rushmore.
Thank you for answering your own joke.
It's such.
That's gonna be a minute.
That's the joke. You know what that is? That's what's considered a Marty joke. My father would say a joke. We were in Florida. I'll give you as we end. My father would say, "I have a joke," and and me and my mother would laugh.
Because you know it was coming.
And he never got to say the joke, so he got frustrated. And he said, he'd tell Mom, that's why you got no sense of humor. And then like 20 minutes up the road, when Mom fell asleep, because it's like in Florida when we're on those road trips. He'd say, so Orlando. And he'd go into the joke, and I'd get the joke with Pop, but I couldn't laugh because I was so prepared for the joke. But Pop, your jokes were the bomb. That's the moral of the story, man. Listen to your father's jokes, even the bad ones.
That's true, definitely.
And you're gonna miss all those moments.
Yeah,
So
yeah. You can't get it back.
more dad jokes in the future
Yes.
with Mr. Make It Happen. Thank you.
I love
I had a
it.
great time. Alex Social
too.
Productions, Mr. Make It Happen. Another episode. Thank you. God bless you.
Cheers.
Have a good night. Sugar Ray, Sugar Ray.